de mi corazón.
Senator, welcome. Welcome back. I see the Space Force logo behind you there. That's pretty awesome. Welcome back to the program. So this is going to be a very, like, an interesting Epstein supercycle day. I think the House is going to vote on this petition, and I think it's going to pass overwhelmingly. What's your take in the Senate?
Benny, we're going to need a bigger jail, and I hope we do. Let's put them all in jail. This has gone on way too long. I don't really understand why we're having to vote on anything in the House or the Senate. Just let it go. Let the justice system do its job. These people are definitely criminals. Anybody to have anything to do with young kids, we put them in jail, we throw the key away. I don't care who it is. It's time to get this mess over with and let people know you're going to pay the price for doing something like this. So, it's going to blow up. Larry Summers right off the bat. I don't know who else it's going to be. I have no clue, but I'm anxious like everybody else to hear about the transparency that President Trump offered up during his campaign. And here it comes, and I'm looking forward to it. Some people are going to have a very, very tough holiday season, and they should.
I think what a lot of people have wondered is, like, why did it take so long? Not just from President Trump, but throughout, Jeffrey Epstein killed in 2019. Why has this taken so long? Obviously, Democrats are doing it now. Nobody even cared about Jeffrey Epstein. We did, but nobody cared about Jeffrey Epstein during the Biden years. They could have done it. But this moment, it seems unnecessarily political. Like, from a political perspective, it seems to have unnecessarily extracted a lot of energy.
Well, the only thing I can think of, Larry, Benny, I've been around President Trump quite a bit. I've not asked him that direct question, but you have to go back and look at this. We have been so far underwater in this country. I don't know whether at the beginning of President Trump's term that we could have withstood, the mental capacity of what is getting ready to happen across people across this country and a lot of different things. So I would hope that he would give you the reason of, listen, we had to get our economy back going again. We had to get things going over in the right direction in the Middle East, all over the world. Benny, we're underwater. This country and this world is underwater. And something like this at the very beginning might have just caused a catastrophe. But as President Trump said, hey, Democrats, you want it to be brought out? Let's get it done. And so here we come. And so be it. I'm looking forward to people going to jail and paying the ultimate price for what they did. And it's just, the American people deserve this, and we deserve to get it out of the way where we can get this country back on its feet again, because we're struggling.
Yes, and I want to talk about that. One final question on Epstein. What happens next? Can you explain this to us? This is the first time that Congress has ever voted to release criminal evidence from trial or otherwise. According to all available evidence, it's going to pass pretty overwhelmingly in the House today. So then what happens next? Does that then go to the Senate?
Yeah, my understanding, it goes to the Senate. We'll talk about it tomorrow in our first caucus lunch since we've taken off after we open the government back up. So it'll be an interesting discussion. President Trump will probably have something to say about it in terms of visiting with a lot of us. But at the end of the day, as he said, hey, enough of this. You want it out there, let's get it done. I got a lot more work to do out there other than just this, but let's put cards on the table, and let's see where the cards take us and see what happens. And again, I don't know why we're having to vote on it. I mean, my God, these people broke the law. And the last time I looked, if you break the law, you go to court and you go to jail.
It does seem, since you are a member of Congress and you are in Congress, there is this Congresswoman named Stacey Plaskett, who the Washington Post has proven now beyond a shadow of a doubt that when she was asking questions in a committee, she was directly texting Jeffrey Epstein. He was giving her advice on what to say in order to get Trump. And we have the footage right here. So you can see her texting Epstein and then asking the questions that Epstein was telling her to ask. Now, this is like, if this were happening to a Republican, they'd be tarred and feathered at this point. I mean, they bring back the, stocks and people throwing tomatoes. Is this gonna fly? This is a sex predator telling Democrats, like ordering Democrats what to say from the dais in order to get Trump. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it is crazy. And anybody that represents American citizens across the country in Congress or in the Senate, and if you're doing something like this, I mean, you just can't make up stupid this much. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, got their hand out, taking campaign money, doing something in terms of breaking the law themselves. So enough of this. Let's get it out there. Let's get it going, and let people across the country know that the American people are being taken care of by the justice system. But right now, they got a lot of doubts.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I mean, you're really straight shooter. That's why we love having you on the program. It was great to speak with you at the Turning Point event in Auburn. That was really fun. And I think that people just really, are very tired of the establishment lying to them. Trump was a protest vote. Mandami is a protest vote. People are sick of the establishment enriching themselves, protecting themselves only, and not caring about the American citizens. And I think that young people are going to go either Mandami or MAGA. And so we've got to show them that we are here to also tear up the establishment and then provide a better life. We know the communists won't. We know what happens there. So what would be your advice, Senator, for doing that? Because that you have to show real world results. Obviously, this Epstein thing has been, I think, a lot more drawn out than you want it to be. There's also consternation about the J6 pipe bomber, other information that the American public isn't getting, that they were seemingly promised. I think it's like it's a big time for choosing for MAGA right now.
Yeah, this is a dividing point. They killed Charlie Kirk, our friend, because he was telling the truth.
Yes.
And they didn't like the truth. And so at the end of the day, I think President Trump was a big cause of Mandami winning, not because of him personally, but because a lot of these young people across the country are looking at, wait a minute, so we got an establishment here. It's not changing whatsoever. As I said earlier, President Trump's trying to, but he was so far underwater. So he's caught up in the tidal wave. And then for some reason, a lot of these young kids in New York said, I'm not a Trump fan. I'm not a Mandami fan, but this is different. This changes course for what's going on in our country. So they made a decision to vote for him. Not a very good decision. And I think President Trump probably going to have to get involved with the governor there, because the governor can stop a lot of this nonsense, Hochul. But at the end of the day, this was a lot about President Trump, the mainstream media going after him, just telling people how much he was a big part and most of the problem, which he's most of the solution. They'll find out in the long run.
So what about the thing that young people care the most about, the American dream? And obviously, even with Epstein, what you're going to find, I think, and I'd love to get your opinion on this, but what you're going to find, I think, is a lot of foreign involvement and a lot of very nefarious corruptions with various intel agencies around the world and various other countries around the world. But my take on the senator is that Americans are sick of that. They're sick of our leaders not caring for us and not caring for the American people. One of the main marks of a collapsing society is that young people have no future. They can't afford homes. They can't start a life. They can't start a family, get married, have grandchildren. Home ownership is collapsing around the country. The capacity to buy a home, own a home, and start the American dream is getting extended longer and longer out. Now, the average age of a first-time homebuyer is 40, which is past the optimum age of fertility, past the age that most people want to start families. It's collapsing the American dream, Senator. Is there going to be a major focus on that in the Senate, in the Republican Party?
Benny, my number one focal point when I was coaching young kids is that, listen, this country doesn't owe you anything other than an opportunity to fulfill that American dream. You're exactly right. The problem we have in there right now is the 4 years of Joe Biden and these awful policies going all the way back to Barack Obama, letting all these people come in from countries all over the world, 20, 30 million people. We don't have places for them to live. I mean, it's that serious. So that's one of the reasons we have to have an immigration policy. We have to close the borders. We have to do everything we can to help these young people, because they're looking at going, hey, I hear about what President Trump's saying, but I hear about what the Biden administration did. I hear about what Congress is saying. We don't trust anybody because it's not working for us.
Yes.
We can't make a living off $50,000, $60,000 a year. We've got 500,000 people in Alabama that make $30,000 or less. How in the hell do you live off that? And it's insane. So that's the reason I went back to what President Trump, he came in way underwater. He's gone 9 months with just busting his ass to try to get this country going again. And everybody's yelling about all these things that happened in the past. He's good with that. But now he says, hey, if y'all want all to come out at the same time, we'll just get it out there and wash our laundry. And it's going to be a huge wash load through Thanksgiving and Christmas.
I hope so. I love seeing the domestic turn, but I hope that it's not too late. The administration obviously was elected to care about the American people. I think they've done great work, but I want to see a major messaging war to tell young people what MAGA is going to do for them. I know that you're a great part of that, speaking to 10,000 students at Auburn. And that's what I think we need to vision cast, because if you lose that, I mean, listen, it really will be, the future will be MAGA or Mondami, MAGA or Marxism. And we got to win, Senator.
Well, we're a big part of the problem up here, Benny. The Washington, D.C., it is nothing but a quagmire. And I'll say this, I know we're going to go here, but let me tell you this. Yeah. We have to keep hitting on busting the filibuster. And I was totally against this a few years ago, but to try to keep equal powers. But let me tell you something. This is not the same Democratic Party you and I have seen the last 10, 15 years. These people are evil. And if we don't make sure that we get valid voting ID and no mail-in ballots, we are done for, because they're going to cheat the hell out of us again like they did in 2020. It's coming, and we're going to lose our country and probably going to lose the world to all these communists. So we have to do something about what's going on up here and bust the filibuster and get something done for the American people in the next 9-10 months, or they're going to vote us out.
I feel that. I mean, listen, if the filibuster was gone today, what would be the first 4 or 5 what would be the first 3 agenda items that you would want to see through in conclusion? What would be the first 3 things that Republicans would pass in the Senate?
Yeah. First would be voter ID. You got to do that. You got to do it. We're getting ready to go into election season. The second thing would be no mail-in ballots. It's the biggest cheating fraud ever to happen on the face of this earth. And it was all caused by the Democrats going through this hoax of COVID that we went through. And the other thing is we got to get a balanced budget. My God, we can't keep spending $2 trillion more than American people send up here every year. That's criminal in itself. So we have got to find a way to make sure we do things up here for the American people and quit doing it for lobbyists and quit doing it for politicians and quit doing it for the billionaires. We can't do it. Corporations have got to pay their fair share. We've got to do what's right for this country, but we can't do it if we can't do a 51 vote in the Senate. And again, they will vote us out. And the next time they get in, they're going to do it. And it's going to be Katie bar the door.
Senator, we're sad a little bit that you're leaving the Senate, but we know the great state of Alabama needs great leadership as well. We know that you're running for governor there. We fully support and endorse Senator Tuberville in that race. You can follow Senator Tuberville right here. He has 120,000 subscribers on X. Godspeed, Senator. Thank you.
Thank you, Benny. God bless.